guys, what is up? It is me, Rahul, here, bringing you guys another review. And today we're going to be talking about the 2014-2015 Providence Friars men's ice hockey season review. This is a little bit of an interesting one because of the fact that they actually faced off. Foreshadowing here, they faced off against the Boston University Terriers later on in the season, in the championship game, and won, which I'm gonna give my thoughts on that later on. But before we do that, please be sure to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Anyway, let's go over everything. The head coach is Nate Layman, who is still the head coach of the Providence Friars men's ice hockey team. He is one of the greatest head coaches of all time for ice hockey. Then you have the assistant coaches, Steve Miller and Chris Mayotti. The arena is Schinder Arena. Players are Brendan Leahy, Logan Day, John Gilmore, Mark Adams, Kyle McKenzie, Tom Barzi, Drew Brown, Mangoya, Mark Jankowski, Nico Rufo, Stefan Demopoulos, Paul DeJersey, Ross Marman, Stephen McParland, Anthony Florentino, Brooks Belling, Nick Saracino, Jack Woman, Shane Luke, Kevin Rooney, Brandon Tanev, Truman Reed, Newell Asirari, Robbie Hennessy, Ryan Pinho, Josh Monk, Alex Cromwell, Connor McPhee, John Gillies, and Nick Ellis. This prominent squad went 26-13 to the NCAA Division I National Champion, the Catamount Cup Champion, and NCAA Tournament Champion. Now, let's go over the season. So we begin in the regular season against the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Friars lost 4-5 in overtime, then won 2-1 in overtime. Next up, they packed their bags. It was like road games, so they faced off against the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. They lost 6-1, but they tied 2-2 in overtime. So then they faced off against Boston University. They lost 4-1. They won 2-1. Faced off against the Merrimack, Boston University Terriers. Then they faced off against Merrimack. And as a side note, Ohio State, North Dakota, and the Boston University games happened like during the October period, with a transitional game into November. On November 1st for Boston University, which had to win 2-1. Merrimack Warriors had the Friars won 3-2. Then they lost 1-0. Okay, Merrimack Warriors. Then the Friars faced off against the Vermont Catamounts. Won 3-0. Lost 2-1. Then they faced off against the New Hampshire Wildcats. Won 1-0. Faced off against the Army Black Knights. Won 3-0. Faced off against Boston College. 1-0. And by the way, from Merrimack on November 7th, as main games, Merrimack until Boston College Eagles, Merrimack Warriors, those happened in during that November period. So, yep. Then in December, Providence Friars faced off against Northeastern Huskies. Won 5-1, lost 2-1. Okay, here we go. They faced off against the Colgate Raiders. Yes, Colgate has an ice hockey team. The Friars won 4-3. They faced off against UMass Minutemen and the Vermont Catamounts for the Catamount Cup in Vermont. Won 4-1, 3-0 for the Catamount Cup. Okay, we established that right there. So, and that was in December. From Northeastern Huskies to the Vermont game, December 29th. Those were the amount of games. So, then we get into January, which is the most chaotic period I've ever seen for this. For Providence at this point, they face off against Colorado College Tigers. Won 5-4 in overtime, then 5-3. Then they faced off against the Brown Bears. Okay, they won 3-2 in overtime, but lost 5-3. Then they faced off against New Hampshire Wildcats, lost 2-1. They faced off against the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. The Friars won 7-3 and won 4-1. So then they lost to Boston College 3-2. So from Colorado College to Boston College, those were the amount of games in January. Then we get into Connecticut. Yes, one of the blue bloods of college basketball. Men and women college basketball. You didn't think that they would be known for ice hockey? Well, they could do some things. So, the Friars, starting in February, faced off against Connecticut. They tied 2-2 in overtime against Connecticut, and then the very next game they won 10-1. Alright, now, this is where it gets interesting. Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Batted Irish, one of the blue bloods of college football. Yes, they won. The Friars lost 2-0, bounced back with a 3-2 win. They faced off against UMass Minutemen, won 3-2 in overtime, lost 2-1 in overtime. Right. Then they faced off. They faced off against the Maine Black Bears. And in back-to-back games, they won. I'm going to say this. They won 5-2 each, which is really impressive in my opinion. So, then we get into the postseason portion. Now, I am actually going to mention about the 2015 Hockey East Men's Ice Hockey Tournament. So the participants were Boston University, Providence, Boston College, Massachusetts, UMass Lowell. Boston University Terriers, Providence Friars, Boston College Eagles, UMass Lowell Riverhawks. And Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Northeastern Huskies, Vermont Catamounts, New Hampshire Wildcats, Yukon Huskies, Maine Black Bears, Merrimack Warriors, and the UMass Minutemen. So, Providence ended up facing New Hampshire, and in an upset, this is gonna sound crazy for the 2014-2015 Hockey East men's ice hockey tournament. Friars lost 2-1 in overtime. They won 2-1, lost 2-1 in overtime. Okay, fine, you have that. They got selected to play in the tournament, the 2014-2015 NCAA Division I men's ice hockey tournament. And the participants were, for the West Regional, North Dakota, Michigan Tech, St. Cloud State, Quinnipiac. Northeast Regional, Boston University, Minnesota Duluth, Minnesota, Yale. Midwest Regional, Minnesota State, Omaha, Harvard, RIT. East Regional, Miami of Ohio, Denver, Boston College, Providence. So, and by the way, Providence was a at-large bid. And keep this in mind when dealing with Boston University, because Boston University was placed in the Northeast Regional because they were a tournament champion. Providence was placed in the East Regional as an at-large bid. Okay. So, what ended up happening was, I'm going to talk about Providence route. So, they faced off against Miami of Ohio, won 7-5, okay? Then, they faced off against Denver, won 4-1. They then faced off against Omaha, which is Nebraska, by the way. Okay, let me actually name them. Let me reiterate. Providence won against the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, won 7-5. Then they faced off against the Denver Pioneers, won 4-1. Faced off against the Nebraska Omaha Mavericks, won 4-1. Then faced off against the Boston University Terriers, won 4-3, to claim the NCAA National Championship. And there you go. Now, the only dilemma I have with this is, why do you have two teams from the same conference facing each other off? It feels weird, but I would probably say, this is a great squad. They overcame with so much that, well, I give it to them. I give it to them because they deserved it at the very end. They did what they had to do. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to be covering another team. Yeah. Or actually, that would be tomorrow. I have something else. Earlier in the day. This will come out around 8 p.m. On Saturday. I have something else at 12 p.m. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Y'all are legends in my book, as well as for me. I will see y'all in the next one. Take it easy, and peace.